right, guys, we're here. This is the final, well, it's never final, is it? This is the final build DT50 video. This is the completion video. So this is a 1990 DT50 LC, and this bike I got about 4 months ago, and she's now complete. I'll kind of walk through, give you a little tour, and tell you a little bit about what I did, what had to be done. Let's first start her up, and then we'll talk a little more. A lot of people just want to hear this sweet little 50cc purr. So we're still breaking her in, so I'm not, beating her over the head too hard. But this bike I got about 4 months ago, and everything was pretty decent on it. I mean, it was cosmetically a mess. It was rusted, had never been washed. I mean, it was just, the rims were just completely like rusted over. I didn't even think I could even reuse the rims. Amazingly, all that rust came off. But the good thing about it, what was its saving grace, was that the bottom end was good. When I took the cylinder head off and I grabbed the rod, it was nice. There was no up and down play. So we were in business in that end. What I did have happen was I had a crank seal leak, and the crank seal leak was causing the ATF, or the transmission fluid, to go into the combustion chamber, making it smoke really bad. It wouldn't run under its own power. It just would foul plugs. So I changed the seal. I went in and took apart the clutch. Also had to do a few little other things there mechanically. We had a bad RPM drive gear. I guess this is tied to the crankcase. And down here, past the oil pump stuff, you've got a little drive gear that runs off the primary drive, and that's plastic, and the worm gear was completely stripped. So I suspect that probably some dirt or something got up in here, or the cable got all dirty and it just stripped the gear because it wouldn't turn. So basically, those were the only two things in the motor. The rest of it literally was cosmetic. I went, obviously, bigger on the piston. It was already a 1 over, so I'm 2 over on this, and took everything apart, repainted, went down to the metal, repainted everything I could, went with hardener and clear coat for the, the final top coat, and she turned out really good. So the coat is really durable. With the tank, because you're looking at that, it didn't look like that. Obviously, there were dings and dents, and there was some Bondo repair and some other stuff. I ended up going in, actually some epoxy repair, if I remember correctly. I ended up going in and, getting the tank down to bare metal, and then doing the Bondo, and then doing all the sanding and getting the shape and contour right. Then I painted it, and I used the Yamaha bluish green. I've posted links in the past to where I got these paints, so go check some of the older videos. They are available. You just gotta go find it. And when I did that and got everything together, she started coming together. I used Alfonso decals out of Portugal, and you'll see links in some of my older videos for eBay, and you'll see the listing. He's got these for the bike. We had to work on the color a little bit. We worked a lot on this color, but not so much on this. So he sent me a version, and then we ended up swapping him out. But he's a great guy, and we actually had some very nice person in Portugal send to me, literally, the decal, send to Daniel the decal from an original Portugal version, because they used this color, and then we matched it from there. So we did some really great stuff with that. The seat I got from my buddy Aurelio. It's a pretty hard to find seat. The guys that make the seat covers in the US, or actually in Thailand, that you can get, they're awesome guys. I use them for a lot of my covers, but the color's just not, it's just not the right color. It's a little too light. So this is a pretty rare kind of one-off unobtainium piece that was sitting in a shop shelf somewhere in Portugal, from what I understand, and my buddy snagged it for me, and we did some work on the lettering and got it fresh and nice. And yeah, she's looking good. Now you may say, well, gee man, what'd you do with those fenders? Because the original fenders, the only original plastic piece I have is this headlight shell, and This I took off and I polished and I redid, but the fenders are all, I think the HP, if that's the name of the company that I can remember, that does most of the DT fenders, and those were sanded down. They were sprayed with an adhesion promoter. They were primed. You know where this is going, right? They were primed, and then they were sprayed over with a 2K clear with hardener, and they turned out really good. Now this bike, this is nice Saturday evening, just strolling around the neighborhood. This is not going to be off-roaded or anything, so I mean, I'm not worried about the fender's durability. I mean, this is just a putt-putt bike, and yeah, she's made it this far. She deserves that. So this is quite the conversation piece, if you will. This is not only a rare part to find on these DT50s, but trying to find this color is probably about as rare as finding a hen's tooth in a I don't know, in a haystack. It's pretty rare. So this piece actually came from Japan, and it is not a bluish green official part. It was actually painted. So I had a lot of problem with this part. Unfortunately, it was a little bit sun dried, so I had to go in there and repair it. And then I used the bluish green solid from this tank color to go in and basically paint that, make it look the way it does. So that's done, and everything else looking really good. I'm really excited. I've got a little bit of wiring to do, odds and ends, but yeah, she's moving along, pretty much done. And I would say there's a little bit of up and down, you know, the bike, little things here and there that I'd like to get a little better, but she's moving along. And I'm pleasantly pleased with the stock pipe. This I took down to bare metal, and I did a ceramic coating on it. As you can see, it looks very nice. It's not too shiny, it's not too dull, it's just perfect. But I'm very impressed with the power on these. You know, it's not as aggressive as the other one I have that is using a pickup flip mod and also using a firebox pipe. But it's definitely very torquey. It seems like the spread is just perfect to keep the bike pulling and moving as you need it to. So I'm still, you know, on the fence with whether the firebox pipe is a good mod or not. And I'm curious, you know, one day to compare the firebox pipe to this one and maybe do a swap on my other bike and see the difference. But yeah, she's looking really good. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions about anything, just shoot me a message. But I posted the shop that I did this rebuild on for the motor, where you could send the motor. Really good guy. You can ship them to him from anywhere in the world, from what I understand. Really good guy. I posted the pistons that I've used. I've used GOL pistons on one bike, and I think I used a Pro X on this one. Haven't really noticed any difference yet, you know, knock on wood. Yeah, basically everything. Now the fork boots, I did a whole episode on that just to show you. I also did an episode on rebuilding the forks. It's pretty easy, but you know, for those that haven't done it, you know, you may want to watch the episode. But basically these forks I got on Amazon, and the fork boots, they're still available, and they're a pretty good match, as you can see. But what I had to do, which is pretty interesting, was I had to actually take the green fork boots, and I had to boil them in some rite dye. And I think I used like an aqua and like a blue, and I combined it together into a hot mess on my wife's stove. And lo and behold, after a while, I knew that was probably about the end, and they were as good as they were gonna get, and I pulled them out. And they definitely actually do match pretty well. I think they're pretty close. So these are hard to find. I have one of them that I got from Japan, just one. But if I ever get the other one, I'll run, you know, both OEM. But for now, the one I have is sitting in the garage. So sorry for the long video, guys. We'll get more with her. We'll definitely keep her on the channel and keep her forever. She's a cute, awesome little bike. I have no idea why they stopped making these in the US. Probably some EPA stuff. But man, what a great bike. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. If you like this video or you want more of this content, hit like and subscribe.